Good morning and welcome to a very normal weekend in my life here in Oslo. My partner is away on a cabin trip this weekend, but I have some lovely plans with friends, so I'm definitely going to enjoy myself. But first, a slow, peaceful morning to myself with iced coffee and a good book on my Kindle. I had my groceries delivered to my door today, which is super convenient. A few of the items were new to me, like vanilla flavored oat milk and orange and cherry squashes. I love trying new things, but I have to say neither of these were new favorites. Later, I'm making Indian food for dinner, so a lot of the groceries are for that. First plan of the weekend, lunch with a good friend. So I'm back home and I had such a lovely time with Ida. It's always nice to catch up and just enjoy each other's company. And also the food was pretty good. And I had to pick up a couple of things at the grocery store. I forgot that we were out of napkins, so I didn't include that in my grocery delivery. And I got 2 bottles of apple juice. I've been really craving that lately. It's just so good, and I think this is the best kind. So I got 2 of those so I don't run out of apple juice anytime soon. And now I'm just gonna relax for a bit and then my social day continues. I'm having a friend over for dinner. Her name is Oda, one of my oldest friends. I've known her since we were 6 years old, so yeah, one of my oldest friends. We are having dinner together and I'm cooking my famous Vicky Masala, so I will also show you how I make it. Let's make chicken tikka masala, or Vicky masala. This is my personal recipe, the way I think the dish is best and easiest to make. You can also find the recipe in the description box of this video. I start by making the marinade for the chicken using plain yogurt as the base. I often prepare the marinade with the chicken the night before, but if I don't have the time, a few hours ahead works just fine too. That's why I like mixing everything in a container so I can just pop it straight into the fridge while it marinates. I usually just use the spices I have on hand, so it's never exactly the same, but typically I add garam masala, tandoori masala, curry powder, paprika, cumin, ground coriander, and some curry paste or tikka masala paste. And now I'm going to make a garlic and ginger paste. First, I peel the garlic and roughly chop the ginger. Then I blend them with a little water until smooth. I don't really measure any of these ingredients, but I like a lot of garlic. You can adjust the amount depending on how much garlic you like. Once that's blended, I add half of it to the marinade and save the rest for the sauce later. And that's important to remember. Then I cut up the boneless chicken breast, mix everything well, and leave it in the fridge for as long as I can. I use basmati rice, which goes great with tikka masala and is also my personal favorite. To keep things simple, I just use boiling bag rice. In a pot, I melt some butter. I don't measure exactly, but around 100 grams. While that melts, I start chopping the onion. I'm using 1 large onion today, but if you have smaller ones, I'd go with 2. Once the butter is melted, I add a bit of cinnamon. I used to use a cinnamon stick based on an old recipe I followed, but honestly, I found it to be too much hassle. Ground cinnamon works just as well for me. Then I toss in the chopped onion and the rest of the garlic and ginger paste I made earlier. Next, I chop up 3 tomatoes and add them to the pot, along with about 400 grams of tomato paste. Now it's time to take out the marinated chicken. I like to cook it in a frying pan first before adding it to the sauce. I feel like I have more control that way. Then I add all the same spices I used in the marinade except for the curry paste and mix it all together. While the chicken is cooking and the sauce is simmering, I prepare the raita. I just use the leftover yogurt and mix it with a raita spice mix. In my opinion, raita and mango chutney are essential for this meal. After that, I pour in about 300 milliliters of cream and let everything simmer together for a bit. Once the chicken is about 75% cooked, I add it to the sauce and let it finish cooking in there, usually around 5 to 10 minutes. Or maybe more like 5 minutes. I don't really time it. I just keep an eye on it and make sure to not overcook it. I'd rather undercook a little and test it by cutting into a piece than cooking it too long and risk letting it go dry. Dry chicken is so disappointing. To finish off, I bake some ready-made naan from Santa Maria in the oven for a few minutes and then it's done. This is so tasty. Definitely one of my favorite dishes. And there you have it, my Vicky masala recipe.
Feet on the stripes in the Alabama highway, out there in the open, just a wishing and a hoping. I could smell the pines when I let you in the doorway. Took the seat next to mine like you've been there before. I'm befriended and then lose ya. I could never stand to lose ya. I get by when you're at my side. I'm befriended and then lose ya.
In a couple of hours, I'm meeting up with 2 of my best friends, Oda from yesterday and also Nora. We are having afternoon tea at this French patisserie. It's called Pascal and it's very famous here in Norway, and they have several locations in Oslo now. And the founder and owner is actually French, so they really know what they're doing. They have the best macarons in Oslo, and I would also say in Norway, because I think that's safe to assume that they are the best. Especially salted caramel, that's my favorite flavor. They are just so good. So if you ever plan to visit, I highly recommend getting those. I do really enjoy a good afternoon tea, and I especially like Bristol Hotel in Oslo and also Grand Hotel. I think those are the best afternoon teas in Oslo. But I've never tried out Pascal's before, and I think it's actually pretty new as well. So I'm really excited for that. But first, matcha. We had booked afternoon tea at the Pascal Cafe, located right by the Royal Palace on Henrik Ibsens Gate. I had never been to that particular one before. I usually pick up macarons from their location on Tollbugata, which is really close to Jernbanetorget. The place was absolutely beautiful, with such a cozy and calm vibe. And the selection of cakes and sweets was incredible. Besides macarons, I've only tried their chocolates before, but now I definitely want to try their cookies and cakes too. Everything just looked so tempting. And the afternoon tea did not disappoint. Instead of the traditional finger sandwiches, they served small brioches with different fillings, and they were delicious. The heart-shaped cake tasted like some kind of cheesecake, and it was so good. And the macarons, no surprise there, they were amazing as always. I would definitely come back here for afternoon tea again. Before heading home, I picked up a few salted caramel macarons, because let's be honest, that's the best flavor. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching!